You can't keep getting away with it! You can't keep getting away with it!
The Switch 2 had a lot of potential, but instead it completely imploded in on itself the hour after the Direct happened. And it's pretty sad when you really think about it. It had been God knows how long since we'd gotten a new Nintendo console, and well, now look at it. But, this isn't about how much potential the Switch 2 fucking had. It's about how it will probably backfire, and by probably I mean most likely backfire in Nintendo's favor, and just how bad the gaming industry is gonna be now. Like, I think it's gonna be on par with the whole Atari ET shit, but like, probably 10 times worse. So, look, for anyone saying that this might be a tariff issue, I'm not really gonna say anything on it until, like, there's like a huge amount of certainty as to if it is or if it's not, because I don't really like talking politics, and quite frankly, I don't feel like being a fucking loser just talking about politics right now, so, yeah, I'm not gonna talk about the whole tariff thing, but here it is, and here's why I think the Switch 2 will backfire, and now it's probably gonna have major consequences.
This ain't right. Something weird's going on here.
Now look, I don't really care about the console price, mainly because I think it's pretty reasonable in my opinion, plus it's not as much as the PS3 was back in the day, because holy shit. But here's the thing, no Fantastic Four. Okay, no, well, enough joking, but here's what I mean. We're barely a decade into paying $70 for a new game, let alone are we even ready for $80 and $90 to become the standard, even $100. And that's pretty much grocery money. And when you look at Nintendo's fan base, it being primarily kids, you know, they have to rely on their parents to get them stuff. Like, imagine you're a parent and your kid asks you for a $90 fucking video game. Nobody really has that for a video game, and their budget is never really going to recover. And neither is the wallet, because here's the thing with Nintendo's budget is no one's gonna try and buy into this shit if they're smart. Like, unless you're a shill, nobody is gonna pay 80 or 90 bucks for a game, no matter how good it is. And plus, people have jobs and stuff to do and other things to pay, so you wouldn't really be able to afford your hobby to begin with. The industry standard for a game's price shouldn't even be close to the rare retro game kind. And speaking of rare retro games,
Where is Omni-Man?
see, look, companies hate piracy and emulation, and then they do shit like this, you know, especially companies like Rockstar or Nintendo, and then they wonder why people emulate and pirate their shit. Because of this being basically an industry standard now, people are gonna pretty much get sick and tired of having to spend $80 on games that aren't worth it, or $90 on games that aren't really worth it. So what is their best thing to do? Fucking pirate me, boys!
Get up, cocksuckers, it's all over.
All of this $80 and $90 shit, all it's really doing is just encouraging people with a brain to just emulate and pirate your games. And with Nintendo, they could do that way easily. They could do it very easily if they wanted to. And it would pretty much just tank their sales because no one's buying their games. Yeah, you'll have parents that'll pretty much give in to their kids' demands to please their kid, but like, realistically speaking, not much people are gonna buy it. This also pretty much makes decks like the Steam Deck or anything else pretty much rise in terms of popularity and sales, because you could emulate more with a deck and it would cost way less than a Nintendo Switch 2 would. That, and you could just add stuff for free. You don't even need to pay close to $100 just to do it. You buy like 2 Nintendo Switch 2 physical games, it's like almost $200. Same thing if you buy them digitally. Meanwhile, with the decks that are going to be rising in popularity, you could literally just get shit for free. You could even play old retro games for free. And with these two things already, the industry is pretty much in a very, very, very big dilemma.
Fucking tragic. Look at yourself. You used to be someone to fear. You've fallen a long way.
I don't really think gaming's gonna be around that much longer. And look, I know a lot of people love video games and it's their hobby and whatnot, but realistically speaking, I don't think it's going to be really going into the future anymore. Whether it be games basically trying to be the new Elden Ring, or games that aren't really just that good, you know, i.e. shovelware, or games like I'm mentioning that are just way too overpriced. The industry is pretty much in a rock and a hard place, or whatever the saying is. So it has like a few options, okay? And this is like, I'm trying to look at this from like a Doctor Strange angle, okay? I'm really trying to. A, the more likely option is they continue to overly charge people for games and, you know, just the industry fucking collapses and it's basically like E.T. for the Atari, but worse. Or, you know, the Great Gaming Depression. And B, which is the more hopeful fucking option, okay? It's the more hopeful fucking choice, and this is me trying to actually have hope here, but I don't think it's gonna happen. It's that people basically turn away from gaming and they have to make a hard pivot to back to the way things were. And I don't think that hard pivot's going to happen. In a day and age where everyone's just trying to get the first click and just trying to be whatever just so they can get a lot of attention online, a lot of people are pretty vocal about shit they really don't like, whether it be for attention or not. Even in an overreactionary manner, they're still vocal about the thing they don't like. So it's either people continue to shill out, which is the more likely option, and what happens is the industry shoots itself in the foot and it basically goes, or people actually wake the fuck up from, you know, whatever weird, like, Adam Warlock cocoon they're in and decide, you know what, I don't want to do this shit anymore. And then they have to pivot. And that's the way I pretty much see it. I don't really think that the gaming industry is really going to survive that long, and if it does, I would be surprised. And before someone says, oh, but what about indie games or fan games? Well, one, fan games, they take a very long time to make, and most of the time these fan games aren't really finished. And two, indie games are an investment because there's so much of a 50-50 put into it. Indie games are basically personal investments, and what I mean by that is when you buy an indie game, you never really know if it's going to be good or bad. So if you end up buying a really good game, then, well, you're lucky. If you end up buying a game you think is going to be good and it's not, then, well, Conquest just annihilated your wallet, so have fun.